Hey everybody, welcome back to Venture Valley Crash Course. Today we're coming at you with the top 10 power tips that will help you make the big bucks. So let's get started. Number 10, know your deck. Before you hit this green play button, you want to make sure that you know exactly what your pre-game strategy is going to be, okay? And part of that is knowing the cards in the deck. And the way to do that, of course, is before the game begins, you want to tap on this orange button right here that says Map Events and take a look at the cards. Now, every city in Venture Valley has a different set of cards. So these are the cards for Mapleburgs. Of course, if you were in Brickyard or the Palms, you would see a different set of cards. And it's very important to go through and familiarize yourself with these cards because you have a very short window to make your decision. So for example, if I touch this first one here, Social Media Influencer. Now you can see that this increases the customer base by 13% and it lasts for 35 seconds. Okay, so that's a good one. We'll go to the next one here. We have the Hip Playlist. This increases your revenue by 15%. It only lasts 15 seconds. Okay, so as you go through these cards, you kind of familiarize yourself with what they do, how long they last, and you can make your own decision as to what you feel would be the best cards to enter the game with. Now, two very important tips here. The first one is that in regards to the red cards, the adversity cards, you want to remember that your opponents don't have a business yet and they don't have customers yet. The game just started, they're building their businesses, they're just getting set up. So having a card like this one here in your hand, decreasing the customer base by 8% for 50 seconds, it's a great card, not so useful at the beginning of the game when they don't have any customers yet. So the red cards aren't as important, in my opinion, at the beginning of the game. The green cards are really great, and the one that I would put all my money on would be this card right here, the Bucket of Gold, which is called the Unexpected Tax Refund card. This gives you $15,000 in cash as soon as you play it. So why this is important at the beginning of the game, remember, you've got to build some businesses and build them fast. And as soon as you build your first business, you can go into your hand, drop this card on that business, and you got an extra 15 grand, which you can then transfer into your corporate account and use it to pay for the next business that you're going to build. So that's a great card to have. I always look for that one. That's my go-to card. Number 9, the pre-game strategy. This is probably the most critically important part of the entire game. You have a very short amount of time to make all of your decisions. We're going to do it right now in real time. We're going to see what we can do. I'm going to try and get the best possible hand I can get. I'm also going to be looking at what kind of businesses I need to build and what kind of products I have to make in those businesses. All very important stuff. Here we go. All right, very quickly, let's take a look at what we've got. Pet walking, mini golf, revenue race. All right, we know the two businesses we need to make, pet walking and mini golf. Let's look at, we have to sell our pet walking business for over $440,000, and we have to sell 6,000 mini golf tickets. So that's level 1. Look at our hand we have right here. I've already got the Bucket of Gold, and I've got 4 green cards. I'm sticking with that. I'm not even going to shuffle anything. And now we're going into the game, and I already know I need to build a pet walking business, so that's free. I'm just boom, get that done right now. Now that goal is selling the business. It doesn't make sense for me to do much more work on pet walking right now other than just try and make it a valuable pet walking business. But mini golf is another story, and that leads us to our next tip, which is get in debt. So sometimes it makes sense for you to get in debt. Now, if it was a different business, mini golf is only $10,000, but what if the goal would have been exotic pet spa for $45,000? If that was the case, I would want to take out a loan and get that business up and running as fast as possible. Now, in this case, I don't really need to take out the loan. Why? Because we talked about this. I have this card right here, which I can play on my pet shop. And now when I go and look at my pet shop, you can see I got $15,000, which I can then transfer 10,000 or so into the corporate account, close it up, and now I've got enough money to buy that mini golf course. So that's why we want to do that, okay? But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and show you that I am going to take out a loan for this mini golf. It's very simple to do. You hit the loan button. It gives you the conditions here. So you can see that you're going to be paying $121 a month for every month that you have not paid off that loan. So it's when bills are due at the end of the month, you've got an extra $121 going out. But it's better to take on a little debt and get up and running and start making income. You're going to be making a lot more than you're going to lose. Tip number 7, price and wages. We want to make sure as soon as we've built these businesses that the first thing we do is we go in and we adjust our price and wages. Now, there's a lot of information here in this control panel. I'm going to show you what I want you to focus on right at the beginning. As you increase your price, you're going to watch the numbers, and you see that one number goes up and the other number goes down. Your sales per day will go down with a high price, and your gross profit will go up, and they will tap out. So right now, because I need to sell this pet shop for a lot of money, I want it to be worth a lot of money, so I want to sell products for a high price. I'm not looking to sell 100 pet walks a day. I'm looking to sell pet walks at the most profit possible. So as I go up, you can see I'm at 213, 203, 219, 221, and then it starts to drop down. So I've priced too high now. I'm losing customers. So I'm going to come back down to 221. That's at $27 a walk. If I go lower, I lose some customers, so I don't want to do that. I'm going to go up, and there, 221. That's the sweet spot. I'm going to stick with $27. Now we're going to go over and look at the wage. And if we look at our customer base up here, we can see we have currently 53 customers in a month. I'm going to just raise my price of my wages. I'm going to have happier employees. They're going to do a better job, but they're going to attract more customers. So let's try that real quick. And we can see, yes, you give them $1 an hour raise, and it went up to 60, 62, 63. Oh, right there, it taps out. I'm going to go back down to 10. So for $9 an hour, I get 62. For $10 an hour, I get 63. I'm going to stick with that. And now I've got those two set to be making the maximum amount of money I need to be making at this moment in the game. And I'm going to do the same thing for my other businesses as well. But now we have to think very quickly. We have a big problem right now. Let's talk about tip number 6, double down. We have to double down. What does that mean? That means that we have a goal right here that if we want to win this goal, and you can see I'm in 4th place here on the mini golf, I need to be selling a lot more mini golf tickets. How can I do that? Well, I have an extra slot right here. We don't want to leave that empty. We want to make sure we fill those slots as soon as possible, and I'm going to fill it with another mini golf course. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pay cash for this one. I'm going to choose that, and now that I've got that mini golf course up and running, it's going to be creating sales to meet this goal just like the other business. So I should be making twice as many sales if I have this set up properly. So let's go ahead and take a look at that mini golf course real quick. Go into the control panel once again. I need to do sales on this. So I didn't set the other one's price yet because of this tutorial. I'm not paying attention. I'm going to go back and do that now. But let's look at the price again, going back to our previous tip about prices and wages. I need to sell units, sales per day. You can see it's 46 right now. If I raise my price, I start losing those units. I don't want that. Even though I'm making more money, I want to go down because the goal is to make as many sales as possible. So you can see right in here, 47. I want to make as much money and as many sales. So I'm going to stick at 12, and I'm going to bring my customer base up by giving some raises here and get her up to about 10 there. So now I'm at 51 sales per day. So that's much better than where I was. I'm going to come up to my other mini golf, and I'm going to get that set as well. So I'm going to actually bring it down a little bit there, 47. I'm going to bring this up to about there, and we're at 51 again. And now between those two, I'm making a lot more sales, and we should see me start to rise in the mini golf zone. Look at that. Look how I jumped into 1st place because I'm double down. These guys probably only have 1 mini golf course. I've got 2 going at the same time. So that's one of the strategies you really want to pay attention to. Okay, and that brings us to tip number 5, fill those slots. So that means, as you just saw, I had an extra business slot right here that I was not using for a long time in the game. I got distracted by other things. I was doing this tutorial and I wasn't paying attention. And when you do that, you're losing valuable time to get in the lead on the game. So let's talk about tip number 4. Use the HUD. Now you've already seen me do it, but I'm going to go through real quick and just kind of explain what's going on here. The HUD, the heads-up display, is all of these icons that are floating above the city right here, and especially this one off to the side where the top one is your HQ, and you can see your 3 businesses here. You never want to try and scrub around the map looking for your business, trying to open it that way. That's going to waste a lot of time. Fortunately, all you have to do is touch one of these icons. It opens right up to your business, and you can switch from one business to the other by touching the other ones. Now, important thing to notice is that when I switch businesses, whatever view I'm in, like currently I'm looking at the interior of my business. If I switch to the next one, I'm looking at the interior. If I switch to the next one, I'm looking at the interior. And you can see I've got some serious maintenance and inventory problems going on because I'm not paying attention. But let's go now to the control panel. So now I'm in the control panel of my pet walking business. And if I touch the middle icon here. Now I'm in the control panel mini golf. So I can switch, whatever view I'm in, I can switch to the other ones. And that gives me a really fast way to go through my businesses and make very quick decisions. So you want to use the HUD. Tip number 3, leaderboard power, which is also part of the HUD, the leaderboard. And if you look up here at the leaderboard, you can see it says sell 6,000 mini golf tickets. If I expand that, we can see more detail. If I touch any of these columns, it resorts that column to let us know. So you can see I'm in 4th place on making money, but I am in 1st place on selling mini golf tickets. Now, what's really cool is you need to know this information when you're playing cards. You need to know who's the guy in 2nd place, who's the guy that I needed best, right? Look at that, I just got 1st place there. So now when I close this up, take a look right below the little leaderboard HUD. It actually shows me the order that everybody's in. So, and if I use these toggle arrows on the side, you can see I can switch that. Now I'm looking at the $1 million one. I can see I'm in 4th place, and I can see who I need to target with my cards. For example, the green guy right there, he's making a ton of money. So, you know, if I had a card that hit his entire HQ, I might use that. But let me just go ahead and throw some bugs on one of his business just to give him a little grief. And now I'm going to take my HQ card, I'm going to drop it on that business, and I'm going to give him a little bit of problems and try and slow him down on the making money part. Okay? So it's really important as you toggle through these on the leaderboard to use that to your advantage so that you can keep the cards out, you can quickly switch around and see where you're at in the game and who you want to play your cards on. All right, now let's go to tip number 2. How do I level up? So if I have a goal, now these goals turned out to be, they aren't like level 2 or level 3 product goals. Sometimes they are. Sometimes it says sell, 1,000 llama walks. So your goal at the beginning of the game would be to try and level up as fast as possible. Now you can see here, it takes 2 things to level up. In this case, I had to get to level 12 and I have to spend $2,000. So I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade that business. Look at this one. So this one's grayed out because I don't have enough money in my account. I have the 12 level points that I need, but I don't have enough money. Now the thing that levels you up to level 12 or whatever the level amount needed is revenue. That means that you need to make a ton of money every day. So if you're trying to level up fast, make sure you're not going for sales per day. Make sure you're going for daily gross profit. Look at, I can jam that up now that I've achieved that goal. I can get this up pretty high. Let's see where I can get a 607. I'm making quite a bit more money than I was. So that's going to help. It's also going to help bring in a lot of cash so that I can get that upgrade button to light up. And then let's take a look at this one right here. Same thing, I don't have any money in there. Of course, you can always go in and transfer money from one account to the other to achieve those, but that's how you want to level up faster. You want to make sure that you set it to maximum revenue. All right, that brings us to our number 1 power tip. It is bill time. Do you know when your bills are due? Do you even know that you have to pay bills in this game? You certainly do, and I'm going to show you when. First thing we're going to look at is our calendar up in the corner. You can see it says May Wednesday, and it's going to tick over to Thursday, and you can see days are going by and days are going by. And that little blue line that's creeping around the edge of the calendar, that's like your visual indicator of where you are in the month. So you can see we're like in the 3rd week now. We need to know if we've got bills due. For example, in this business right here, we have $11,520 in the bank, we can see. Now, if you look at the green bar and the red bar, if we look at the gross profit, that we have $3,321 currently, and we're projected to make $4,000. So how much is our expenses? Well, let's tap on the expenses detail. This tells us that we have to pay $4,600 and $4,450 each month. Now watch what happens. That blue line in the calendar is almost to the end. Watch what happens to our cash when it hits over. Oh, it just changed. Boom. Did you see the cash drop? So we just had to pay out a bunch of money. If I didn't have money in my account, then I would have had a big problem. I would have had an operating loss, and if I show my cash balance here, you can see that it tells you each month, it shows you visually how much you've been making and how much your expenses are. Okay, this company's doing good. This company, I think, is not doing so good. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, look at that. See the red exclamation point there? That means we had an operating loss, and take a look at that. We had a lot of losses. Look at how the red is bigger than the green. So we haven't had this business operating profitably for a while, and that's going to cause bankruptcy. Okay, you're going to lose your business if you're not careful. All right, so those are the top 10 power tips for Venture Valley. Now you've got what it takes to crush the competition. So make sure to subscribe for more Venture Valley secrets. We'll see you next time.